My girlfriend was laughing on a call, saying, "He's going to propose on Valentine's Day, and I'll reject him and make him pay the bill." My breath stopped for a moment. Still, I showed up right on time. I sat across from her and placed a small note on the table. That night, her best friend kept calling me, trying to tell me something. I'm 28, work in software development, and until 3 weeks ago, I thought I had my life figured out. I'd been dating Natasha for 2 years. We met at a mutual friend's wedding, hit it off over terrible DJ choices and overpriced cocktails, and somehow turned that into something real. Or at least, I thought it was real. Natasha was the type of person who commanded attention without trying. Sharp wit, dark hair always perfectly styled, and a confidence that could fill a room. She worked in marketing, traveled constantly for campaigns, and had this way of making you feel like the most important person in her world when she looked at you. Until you realized she looked at everyone that way. The cracks started showing around Christmas. Small things. She'd check her phone obsessively during dinner, laugh at messages she wouldn't share, cancel plans last minute citing work emergencies that never quite added up. I ignored it. Told myself I was being paranoid, that relationships go through phases, that her job was demanding. I remember one night in early January, we were supposed to have dinner at my place. I'd spent 2 hours making her favorite pasta from scratch. She texted at 7 saying she'd be late. Then 8. Then 9:30, saying she was too tired and would just head home. I ate alone, stored the leftovers, and told myself it was fine. Work was stressful for her. She needed space. Looking back, I was making excuses for someone who'd already checked out. Then came February 10th. I was working from home, laptop open on the kitchen table, when I heard her voice drifting from the bedroom. She was on a call, probably didn't realize I'd come back inside after taking out the trash. Her door was slightly ajar. "Valentine's Day, yeah? He's been hinting about it for weeks. I know exactly what's coming." Her laugh was light, almost musical. "I'm going to let him do the whole romantic dinner thing. Wait until he pulls out the ring, and then just no." God, can you imagine his face? I froze in the hallway, grocery bag still in my hands. The best part? He'll be too mortified to make a scene, so he'll just pay the bill and leave. I'm thinking that new French place downtown, the one with the tasting menu. Might as well go out with a bang, right? I've already got my eye on someone else anyway. My hand was on the doorframe. I should have walked in, confronted her right there. Instead, I stood there like an idiot, listening to her plan my public humiliation like it was a corporate strategy. No, I'm not being cruel, I'm being practical. The relationship's run its course. He's nice, but boring. Too predictable. And honestly, I can do better. The words hit like physical blows. Boring. Predictable. Can do better. I backed away slowly, set the groceries on the counter as quietly as possible, grabbed my keys, and walked out. Drove around for 2 hours, parked by the lake, stared at nothing. My phone buzzed constantly. Natasha calling, probably wondering where I'd gone. I didn't answer. When I finally came home that night, she was asleep. I lay awake next to her, staring at the ceiling, replaying every word. Part of me wanted to wake her up and demand answers. Part of me wanted to pack my things and disappear. Instead, I did nothing. Just lay there in the dark, feeling like a stranger in my own relationship. That night, I barely slept. Part of me wanted to believe I'd misheard, misunderstood. But her words kept replaying. Wait until he pulls out the ring. She knew. She'd been expecting a proposal, planning to weaponize it. The thing is, I had been thinking about proposing. Not on Valentine's Day specifically, but soon. I'd looked at rings, imagined the moment, pictured a future. My mom had even offered me her mother's engagement ring, a simple gold band with a small diamond. I'd been carrying it around in my car for 2 weeks, waiting for the right moment. Now all I could see was her laughing with whoever was on that call, turning what should have been intimate into entertainment. By morning, I made a decision. I went to work like normal, came home like normal. Natasha was in the living room, scrolling through her phone, half watching some reality show. "Hey, where'd you disappear to yesterday?" she asked without looking up. "Just needed to clear my head. Work stuff." Listen, Valentine's Day. That new French place, Le Bernardin? I made a reservation. 8 o'clock. Wear the navy suit. I smiled. "Sounds perfect." She finally glanced up, something flickering across her face. Suspicion? Satisfaction? Hard to tell. "You okay? You seem off." "I'm great," I said. Really excited for Friday. The next few days were surreal. I went through the motions, kissed her goodbye when she left for work, texted her back with appropriate enthusiasm. She had no idea I knew. Part of me felt like I was losing my mind, pretending everything was fine while planning my own countermove. On Wednesday, she asked if I was nervous about Friday. Why would I be nervous? She smiled, this knowing little smile that made my stomach turn. No reason. Just seems like a big night. It will be, I said. I called her best friend, Lauren, on Thursday night. Lauren and I had always gotten along. She was blunt, loyal, and had once told me I was the first decent guy Natasha's dated in years. I needed to know if she was in on it. Hey, random question. Do you know what Natasha's planning for tomorrow? Long pause. What do you mean? Just, has she mentioned anything? About us. Another pause, longer this time. I think you should talk to her directly. Lauren, I overheard a conversation. I know she's expecting me to propose so she can reject me and make me pay for an expensive dinner. I need to know if you knew. Silence. Then, quietly, I told her it was a terrible idea. She wouldn't listen. She said you'd been getting too serious and she wanted out, but didn't want to be the bad guy. She thought if you proposed, and she said no, you'd be the one who pushed things too fast. I'm sorry. I should have told you. It's fine. Thanks for being honest. What are you going to do? Show up, I said. Right on time. She's going to lose it. Good. Friday arrived. I put on the navy suit, the one she'd requested. I looked at myself in the mirror and barely recognized the person staring back. 2 years of my life, reduced to this. But I felt strangely calm. Focused. I called ahead to the restaurant and made arrangements with the manager, explaining the situation. He was surprisingly understanding, said he'd seen worse. Then I drove to Le Bernardin, parked, walked inside at exactly 8 o'clock. Natasha was already there, seated at a corner table, candlelight reflecting off her wine glass. She looked stunning. Red dress, hair swept up, that confident smile that used to make my chest tighten. Now it just made me tired. I sat down across from her. You look beautiful, I said. You too. Handsome, I mean. She laughed, took a sip of wine. This place is amazing. I'm so glad we're here. The waiter approached. I ordered water. Natasha ordered another glass of wine and started browsing the tasting menu, narrating her choices with exaggerated enthusiasm. Duck confit, seared scallops, some dessert with edible gold leaf. This is going to be incredible, she said, eyes bright. Such a special night. Halfway through her monologue, I reached into my jacket pocket and pulled out a small folded note, placed it on the table between us. She stopped mid-sentence. What's that? Something I wanted you to have tonight. Her eyes lit up. This was it, the moment she'd been waiting for. She reached for the note, unfolded it slowly, milking the drama. I could see her preparing her expression, the sympathetic regret she'd practiced. I watched her face change as she read. The note said, I heard your phone call on February 10th. Every word. I know what you planned for tonight. I'm not proposing. I'm not paying. Your meal is on you. We're done. Enjoy the duck. The color drained from her face. Her hand started shaking. Wait, what? You heard me. That was, you don't understand, I was joking with. Don't. I stood up, adjusted my jacket. You made it clear how you feel. I'm just saving us both the embarrassment you were so excited about. Please, sit down, let me explain. There's nothing to explain. I hope the tasting menu is worth it. Her voice rose, desperation creeping in. You're seriously going to leave me here? Over a stupid phone call. A stupid phone call where you plan to humiliate me for entertainment? Yeah, I am. People at nearby tables were starting to notice. The waiter hovered uncertainly in the background. You're making a scene, she hissed. No, I said. I'm leaving. You're the one who planned the scene. Enjoy the show. I walked out. Didn't look back. My hands were shaking, adrenaline flooding my system, but I kept walking until I reached my car. Sat there for a moment, gripping the steering wheel, waiting for regret or doubt to hit. It never came. My phone exploded before I even left the parking lot. Natasha calling, texting, then calling again. I blocked her number. Lauren called around 10 that night. She's losing her mind, Lauren said. Called me crying, saying you humiliated her, that she didn't mean it, that she was just venting to a friend. She planned the whole thing, Lauren, down to making me pay the bill. I know. I'm not defending her. I just wanted to check on you. Are you okay? Honestly. Yeah, I think I am. Good. For what it's worth, you handled that better than most people would have. She's telling everyone you overreacted, but I'm setting people straight. A few of us saw this coming. Thanks, Lauren. She doesn't deserve you. She never did. I spent the rest of the weekend ignoring the flood of messages from mutual friends. Apparently, Natasha had spun a story about me, abandoning her at dinner over a misunderstanding. A few people bought it. Most didn't, especially after Lauren quietly set the record straight. Update 1. By Monday, Natasha showed up at my apartment. I watched through the peephole as she knocked, waited, knocked again. She looked different. No makeup, sweatpants, hair tied back. Vulnerable. Part of me almost opened the door. Eventually, she left a handwritten letter under the door. I read it once. It was half apology, half justification, entirely self-serving. She claimed she'd been testing me, that she wanted to see if I'd fight for her, that her friend had encouraged the whole thing as a joke. She said she loved me, that she'd made a mistake, that relationships are complicated and people say things they don't mean. None of it rang true. Not a single word addressed the fact that she'd already moved on, already had someone else lined up. I threw the letter away. A week later, I ran into one of her co-workers at a coffee shop. Amy, a woman I'd met a few times at company events. She pulled me aside, apologetic. I don't know if you know this, but Natasha's been seeing someone else since January. Guy from her yoga class, Trevor. Everyone at work knew except you. I'm sorry. I thought about saying something, but it felt like overstepping. That explained this someone else comment from the phone call. It also confirmed what I'd suspected. The rejection wasn't about me being boring or predictable. It was about her wanting an exit strategy that made her look like the victim. Thanks for telling me, I said. For what it's worth, we all thought you were great. She talked about you like you were. I don't know, convenient. It always felt off. Convenient. That word stuck with me for days. Update 2. 3 weeks after Valentine's Day, Lauren texted me. Thought you should know. Natasha and Trevor broke up. Apparently, he was already seeing someone else too. Karma's funny that way. She's been asking about you, wondering if you'd be willing to talk. I didn't respond. Lauren followed up an hour later. I told her you'd moved on. Hope that's okay. More than okay, I replied. A month later, I saw her at a grocery store. She was in the produce section, looking tired, hair in a messy bun, no makeup. She saw me, froze, then quickly turned away. I grabbed my apples and left. Part of me expected to feel something. Anger, satisfaction, maybe even pity. Instead, I felt nothing. She was just another person in a grocery store. Someone I used to know. I'm not going to pretend the whole thing didn't mess with me for a while. I questioned whether I'd overreacted, whether I should have given her a chance to explain in person. But every time I doubted myself, I remembered her voice on that call. The casual cruelty. The excitement about humiliating me. Some people don't deserve explanations. Some people deserve exactly the energy they put into the world. I'm doing better now. Started seeing a therapist, reconnected with friends I'd neglected during the relationship, even went on a couple dates. Nothing serious yet, but I'm not rushing. For the first time in years, I'm actually enjoying being alone. Learning who I am outside of someone else's expectations. My mom asked about the ring. I told her what happened. She didn't say much, just hugged me and said, "You'll find someone who deserves it." And every year on February 14th, I take myself out to dinner. Somewhere nice. Order exactly what I want. Pay my own bill. Last year, I went to a steakhouse. Got the ribeye, medium rare, with truffle fries. Had a glass of expensive scotch. Sat at the bar and talked to the bartender about nothing important. It's surprisingly freeing. This year, I'm thinking Italian. Maybe that pasta I made the night Natasha stood me up. But this time, I'll actually get to enjoy it.